Okay, I'm going to tell you the story about my girlfriend getting angry at me because of Notion and how I will fix this in the future using Notion. Okay, so it's Sunday, my day off. My newsletter subscribers and now you know that having Sundays off for me is a must since my partner and I got super burnt out by working too many days in a row. So we promised ourselves to never, ever work on Sundays. It doesn't matter what. And we have kept this promise for over 4 months already. And this has greatly helped us to be less stressed, to be more focused in our work, and also to better our relationship. But this Sunday, something is different. I wake up and I have a realization. Yesterday, I didn't write the newsletter that I send every Sunday. And since I have started it, I never have missed any issue. So of course, I didn't want this to be the first time that I'm gonna miss that. But I already have a recurring task set in Notion to remind me of writing the newsletter on Saturday so I can schedule it. So I don't really understand how I have forgotten. Anyway, this means that I have to break the promise that I did to my girlfriend, and this means that I need to work on a Sunday. So I tell my girlfriend, I tell her that we are gonna need to cut our dinner short because I need to come home and write the newsletter. So you can imagine how angry she got. We don't spend much quality time together during the week because we are mostly working, and Sundays are the only day that we can dedicate to each other. So Sundays mean a lot to us. So she was right about getting angry and I was wrong. So after that, because you know, I'm always trying to improve my system, so clearly my system had failed me. So I went to Notion to try to understand what had happened. So I come home, I open the computer, and there it was. The way that I have my recurring task set is that I'm going to calculate with a formula when is the next date in which I have to do the recurring task. And that is a formula, as I said. My non-recurring tasks have a date property, which is different from the formula that I'm using for the recurring task. So this means that I was using two different linked databases in my focus page, which is the page that I use to know what I need to get done every day. So I was using the first linked database for the recurring task and the other linked database with the daily actions that I need to do. And the problem is that I don't have many recurring tasks, so that linked database of the recurring task is mostly empty. So therefore my brain was used to just looking at the second linked database with my daily actions, and I was completely oblivious of the first one. I have grown blind, and I think this can be relatable. Now whenever we are surfing any website, we barely see the ads that are on the sidebar. Our brains completely tune them out because we are already used to see them there and we don't care anymore. So the same happened with my recurring tasks. I was never looking there. I was always looking at the second linked database. So because of this stupid thing in my system, this made my girlfriend get angry at me. So now that I have identified my blindness, I will have to need to join my recurring task and my normal task in the same view, so this doesn't happen again. So let me take the computer and show you how I did it. Okay, so here we are in Notion. This first view is just the scripts that I have pending, but we're not going to focus on that right now. And this is the view that I was talking about. In order to understand a little bit what I did, let me show you how I'm dealing with the recurring tasks. So here I have the recurring task for my newsletter, and what I'm doing is setting which is the first day that I want to do this task, which is the frequency of the task, so in this case is weekly, and with this formula I'm calculating which is the next day that I need to do this. So coming back, here we can see that I'm using this filter over here to just show the tasks that I need to do today. And again, this is a formula. So this formula is joining the date of the tasks that are not recurring and the date of the tasks that are recurring, which are two different properties. So in order to join them, this is the formula that I am using. Whenever the next day property is empty, so this means that is not a recurring task, the output of this formula is the normal due date that every task has. And if this statement is false, so this means that the task is recurring, the output is this next day property, which is the next day that I need to do my recurring task. And I am using this formula in this filter. So long story short, if the task is recurring, I'm using the recurring date, and if the task is not recurring, I'm using the non-recurring date. And then in order to differentiate which tasks are recurring and which tasks are not, because this is quite useful for me in this view. You can see over here that I have this recurring text. So this is just a very easy formula over here. That is, if the property next day is not empty, so this means that the task is recurring, I will just have this output that the task is recurring. And if this statement is false, so this means that the task is not recurring, then I'm not gonna output anything. And voila, this is all I needed to do. Screw you, blindness, I won. Since I have done this, my girlfriend hasn't gotten angry at me anymore, so I think it's safe to say that Notion can really improve relationships, right? I think they should put this in the sales page of Notion. But well, now in all seriousness, as you can see, this is how systems are really developed. We will just use them, find tiny mistakes that for us will be impossible to foresee when we were developing the system, and then making these little tweaks so everything will always be running smoothly, and until the next mistake that I will make and the next tweak that I'm gonna do to my system. Well, I hope you like this more story-based Notion video, and if you liked it, please click the like button, because this is the way that I have to know whether you liked it or not, so I can be more creative and make more videos like this. And I will also leave you here the video in which I go more in depth on how to set up those recurring tasks in the case that you were wondering. So check it out if you want to implement this into your system, because there is also a free template that you can download. And that is it for this video, guys, and as always, hasta la próxima.